What's likely to change? It's blogger and analyst Alexandre Latsa. Alexander, thanks for coming this rather chilly night onto our stage, high above Red Square and Manежna Square. It's good to see you. Now, in your blog, you predict that Putin's result, you think, is going to be poorer than back in 2004, when he got 71% of the vote that time round, which is also what Medvedev got 4 years ago. Why such a difference in your forecast, do you think?
Well, I made two predictions. The first one, it would receive 53 and 55. So I guess it was more likely sure that it would receive less than previous elections, because during the last 4 years, the country faced a financial crisis, and situations got more difficult for many people, many Russians, many voters.
But at the moment,
so I guess that it was more easy to predict that he would receive less vote. Of course, he didn't receive 55 nor 71, but 62 or 63.
He's up to 63.1 at the moment, so it's kind of proving your theory wrong.
It's 10%. It's 10% less than 71, but it's a very good result, because I think he made a very good campaign.
So do you think it will go up or down through here as the night continues and those votes continue to come in?
I think it will more likely be around 62, 63, 64 maybe.
Yeah. I just want to cut in. It's interesting that you said you think he made a very good campaign. He's been really criticized for his campaign, not taking part in the debates. A lot of criticism, especially from outside of Russia. Why do you think his campaign was so successful?
I think it was very successful because when during the parliamentary elections, well after those elections where United Russia lost a lot of voices, the streets were being taken and by the opposition and demonstrators, so everybody was like thinking, where is United Russia, what is Putin doing? And finally two very big meetings occurred pro-Putin. So finally, as a symbol, he could say that he took the streets back to him. So I think this is why he made a very good campaign, because he wrote many articles, 7 I guess, which were very interesting and very sober, showing that he was more or less understood what was going on in the country.
A lot of the vote, or a lot of the people that haven't voted for Putin tonight, are going to be seen as protest votes. What do you think is going to happen if Putin does get in, if he is declared president at the end of all this? Where are those protest votes going to go?
I think that we will have in the next months a lot more demonstrations in the street. Maybe tomorrow will be the bigger one, and then well, I think it will finally disappear, because people can demonstrate many months, but the majority of the people in Russia more or less support Putin, and they do not want a revolution, so I think it won't lead anywhere.
But still, clearly, he has lost a certain amount of popularity. We saw that for his party in the parliamentary elections, and certainly a big drop in votes for president as well. But then you have all of these people who really are faced with the question of, if not Putin, then who? Let's talk about the opposition. Is there any other option for Russians who do believe that Putin is the answer?
I think that's a very good question. First of all, I would differ United Russia and Putin. I think
Let's focus on Putin, then.
Many voters do not like anymore United Russia because of many reasons, but they do support Putin still. So that's a big difference. Concerning the opposition, I would say that, in my opinion, that's the key point. There is nobody in the opposition now to act and to behave and to appear as a political leader. So of course many people say, okay, but Putin did so that nobody could appear as an opponent, but that's not true, because during Helsinki time it was the same problem. Opposition has a lack of leader nowadays in Russia.
Why then? So I mean, we saw the people taking to the streets in their thousands. Not as big maybe it was really only centred in Moscow and St. Petersburg. And despite what you saw on the television, we also saw it as well. And I think the people were out in their thousands there. It wasn't millions taking to the streets, but nonetheless it was a strong voice. People wanted to be heard. Why didn't a strong political figure come out of that and group them all together? If they were so strong about what they wanted to say, what they wanted to see done and change, why didn't a figurehead come out to put a proper political challenge forward?
I think difference has to be made in these demonstrations, because you have a lot of people, usual people, people from the big cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg, earning $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 per month. They feel like the elections were not fair. They feel like they don't have their candidate, and they went to demonstrate because they wanted to show that something was not good, it was not nice, and they didn't agree with the political situation. And you have the political groups who were in these demonstrations. So you have nationalists groups, you have far left wings groups, you have liberals group, and you have those people that everybody knows, like Nemtsov, Kasparov, and I don't think that the majority of the people who demonstrated in the streets, they were happy with those leaders. They just do not recognize them, they just do not want them, and they just are in a quest of a new leader. So I think maybe this is the reason why Prokhorov made such a quite good result, because I think many of these people voted for him.
Better than expected. In fact, Prokhorov doing better than Vladimir Zhirinovsky, who's been in politics for years.
Yeah.
I just want to focus again on Putin, and clearly he has a strong desire to stay in power. Mikhail Gorbachev, in fact, publicly said that Putin didn't want to tackle the country's most pressing problems of education, medicine, taxes, and so on. What do you think Putin's personal reasons for wanting to stay in power are? I mean, you touched on it a little bit earlier in our discussion, but could you expand on that?
I think that when Putin went to power in Russia in 1999, there were no state. So it took him 8 years to rebuild the state. Now this is something that was done 2 years ago when United Russia made its congress in St. Petersburg. They just defined their ideology was the conservatism, because they had to conserve the state who was just rebuilt. So in fact everything went very fast. And I think in the next 6 years, I would say, because I don't think that Vladimir Putin will make a fourth mandate. I think it's his last one for sure. I think a lot has to be done, and we will clearly see, in my opinion, in the next days that Putin understood the situation very well, especially about the demonstrations, and that will be open to discussions.
Well, Russian politics are certainly getting more interesting. Alexandre Latsa, blogger and writer, joining us live here at our election coverage center. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.